Hi, I'm Imogen for Waffle TV, sponsored by West Beer, and I'm here with the cast and director of Ballad of the Burning Star. Hi guys, how are you all doing? Good. So can you tell me a little bit about the show and how the idea came about?
The show is about modern Israeli Jewish identity, I would say, and the conflict between Israel and the Arab world and how it relates to the history of the Jews, so to speak. It's something I wanted to do ever since I left Israel, which was about 8 years ago. I left to study in Paris, and then I now live in the UK, and it's something I wanted to do for the past, ever since I left, really. And I started by thinking that I will do a one-person show, but that seemed not quite right. And then I thought, actually, I should be doing it in drag and with a cast of 5 sexy ladies. And that's what brought us here. 5 sexy ladies and an amazing musician.
So do you think it's important for audiences to know more about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
But not so much because this conflict is super important. I think from this conflict we can learn a lot about, in general, about the nature of human being and why is there always a war going on throughout history. And I think it's a very good representation of human nature and the fact that it always is attracted towards fighting each other. And I think we're exploring this theme through the conflict in the Middle East.
So how does cabaret fit into the show? Because obviously it's quite serious subject matter, but you are described as a cabaret troupe. How does that all work?
I think, can someone else want to talk?
It's too early.
How is it? I think in many different ways. I think first of all I wanted to find something that is not sentimental in the way that it's approaching the subject. So it's such a big subject with people have such strong emotions towards, like, people from all sides. And I wanted to find something that would be very accessible and that is unafraid of tackling the subjects head first, really in your face, like in a way that would surprise audiences, that would make them look at it maybe in a different way, like something that will allow speaking about things that are that normally people don't really want to speak about. So I thought that would be a great way of doing it. And also, just the humor that is in the cabaret and the satire that is embedded in the style of cabaret, I thought would be very helpful in easing people into the subject.
Any more to add from the cast about audience reactions to the show?
I would love to, because I had a very interesting one, like the last time when it was the day before yesterday, and even in general, in the end, if people are really touched or they stand up or they cry and they are really like carried away, and at the beginning there is always like this moment or this first 10, 15, 20 minutes where people don't really know, and there I feel they often react very controversial. And once, like the last time, we were all like, maybe I shouldn't say this because some people won't, but we are not all on stage. So there is one little corner where I'm hiding in between brackets, and one member of from the audience, he got up and he was like, before we even went on stage, he left already. And one technician who is behind the stage, he told this man, "Excuse me, sir, like before you, like just I have to tell you, if you leave now, you are not allowed to come back." And he looked at me, and he looked at him, and he's like, very loud, "For sure, I will not come back to this shit." And he opened the door and he closed the door and he left. It was like his moment of the show. It was like boom, ba bum, ba bum.
Stealing the limelight a little bit there.
And I was normally I would do something or would say something. But
Punch him.
Yeah, I think it's kind of
theater punch.
I think because of the subject matter, it's provoking sort of naturally stronger reactions in people. Like Trans Luna, it's sort of quite easy to swallow. It's quite an emotional piece, but it's essentially, there's so much emotion sort of in the nature of the subject, and Yeah, sometimes it's been because of the cabaret aspect, and because we've been sort of dealing with the subject and comfortably talking about it for so long, you almost forget the impact of it. So the first few times that we performed it, I was looking out into the audience, you know, cabaret, showgirl, and there's sort of these, you know, faces that are taking in the things that we're talking about, really, and it's oh god, how's it being received? But then when you sort of handing out the programmes at the end, we've had just such lovely responses, and like people just like, yeah, I need to go away, I need to sort of have a little bit of a think about that. That's, you know, it's thousands of years that we're talking about, you know, the subject matter that we're talking about, and that it's a lot for people to process.
I think sometimes people find it liberating because we are addressing it in a way, as I said before, really directly, not messing around. Like we just speak about everything, things that people don't really want to speak about. So I think for some people it's really like, how do you define airing? How do you say this? Cathartic. Like to have this spoken about.
Well, you've had a lot of success already. What's next for your theatre company?
I'm just gonna keep on working, like telling important stories in exciting new theatrical ways.
Okay, great. Well, you're a really exciting company, and I'll definitely catch the show. Where can we catch it? It's at 5:50 at 5:15. Pleasantstone. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for chatting to me. I've been Imogen for Waffle TV.